A man who hates himself will never, ever, ever love you. This woman posted a TikTok showing us apparently why her and her husband have different rooms. And I need y'all to understand that at the core of this, there's a man who doesn't love himself. Like, obviously, we could sit here all day and talk about how disgusting his room is. We can talk about how he's just a man child who expects his wife to pick up after him. And, like, if she doesn't, he's not going to do it himself. But at the very, very, very core of this is a person who genuinely fucking hates his own guts. Nobody will ever convince me otherwise. You cannot live like this if you like yourself at all. You cannot live like this if you have a healthy, good opinion of yourself. The thing that's genuinely dangerous about these kind of men, and the thing that is genuinely dangerous about a lot of women's "I can fix him" mindset, is that a man who's not willing to fix himself does not like himself. And a man who does not like himself or even love himself can never like or love anybody else. That man lives in a world of hatred and exploitation. And that's the real key. A lot of people are like, oh, men just want to like shit on women. And yes, they do. They do. But all of this, I want to point out that this could not have happened to a man who likes himself. This could not have happened to a man who has a healthy relationship with himself. You will notice that most men who are in healthy marriages, men who are good husbands, they don't want to live in filth either. It's not like they're over here, cleaning the house and helping their wife around the house. An actually healthy man will not need that as a motivation because he himself does not want to live in a pigsty. A lot of women try to appeal to their husband or their man with, hey, can you help me out? Wrong. He can't. Because you've given away the whole play in that sentence. Can you help me out? Well, what are you doing? Are you cleaning the house? Are you trying to create a livable, healthy, aesthetic environment because you want your surroundings to reflect your inside? Understand that that is what's happening here. Understand that this man's inside reflects his outside, reflects his environment. So coming at it like, oh, men need to step up and da da da. No, no, no. Men need to get to a point internally where they don't want to live like this. This is not healthy. This is not okay. And this is why I say that before men internalize the patriarchy and go out there and do diabolical things to women, the patriarchy takes things away from them. That's why they become hateful. That's why they become messy. That's why they have internalized self-hatred. They have internalized patriarchy. Does that make sense? A man like this has absolutely nothing to offer you, not because he can't clean the house, okay? That is not the problem. The problem is not even that men are not taught housekeeping skills, whatever. Like, you can't externalize your self-love and expect to have all the byproducts of actual self-love, right? So a lot of men externalize what is meant to be their self-love into porn, video games, online gambling, expensive hobbies, everything like that. And then they still live like this. They can't help it, right? The reason that they need women, they don't really go too long in between relationships by themselves once they've lived with a woman, is because they don't have the self-love that it takes for them to want to not live like this. And I hope that this is making sense, like not in a way that I'm like defending men. I'm not defending this. I'm not defending this. I'm just explaining to you why, even if you were able to explain and break down and like make your husband understand why a dirty house is like annoying and bothersome and whatever, unless he also deconstructs the patriarchy and deconstructs that initial wound that the patriarchy gave him when he was a little boy, that taught him to hate himself and has manifested itself as like outward chaos, hatred, misery, all of that, because men tend to externalize their feelings. They don't think they do, but what is this? Men are not emotional. What is this then? This is emotional. This is an externalization of how a man feels about himself. This is emotional because they repress the actual emotions. And so it comes out, it seeps out of their pores. You know what I mean? At a certain point, it's like, this is what it becomes. And so I hope that you understand that when you marry a patriarchal man, a man who expects you to pick up after him, at the core of that misogyny, which it is misogyny, you are being mistreated, all of that. But at the core of that, what really causes that is self-hatred. Because for you to learn to do these things, for you to care about yourself in that way is gay. Or for you to care about yourself in that way is womanly. It is rooted in misogyny. The practical misogyny that comes out of it is also rooted in self-hatred, because all human beings are both masculine and feminine. A lot of men will be brainwashed by the patriarchy into believing that cleaning up after themselves is gay. Caring about how they look, how their room looks, how their house looks, what decor they have is gay. They will miss out on some of the most important and rewarding aspects of life, which is learning to love and accept yourself, learning to even like reparent yourself, which is learning to understand yourself, understand your triggers, understand your downfalls, your addictions, etc. And they will miss out on all of that self-development. And that's why most men have so many regrets on their deathbed. That's why most men are not surrounded by people they love on their deathbed, unless they were not this kind of man. I promise you that if, your dad was like this growing up, you probably don't talk to him, because that man was not capable of love. And so he didn't show you any because he didn't know how to show it to himself. Anyways, please do not misinterpret this. This sucks. Just trying to point out all the forces at play and why men like this will never love anybody. And you need to leave them to their own devices, because they're spreading this toxicity everywhere they go. And it needs to become their problem, not yours, because that's the only way that they're going to do something about it. Stay safe out there. I love you so much. Godspeed. Mwah.